There is such a small state and it has such few population. It has only 33,000 army, and most of its protection comes from the United States military because they have their largest base outside United States in Qatar. And they just got 30,000 people, although they have so many fighter jets. Now, what happens is Israel is attacking Doha, and America is defending Qatar, Doha, and America just turns off all its alarms and all of its systems, and Israel comes and easily bombs the whole Hamas leadership and just goes away. And that is also the problem that were these nations ever supposed to be nations? Because before there was the Khilafat, and now these nascent nations, as you say, they're small places with small populations, with a royal family and a lot of oil. So you're giving so much power to just a few people. If it was the Muslim Caliphate, do you think the oil would just remain for the Qatari Emirates and the oil would just remain for the Saudi royal family, and the whole Muslim Caliphate, even Turkey and even the subcontinent, wouldn't take any benefit from the oil that was coming out from these
Well,
states?
that's a totally different scenario that you are going to towards if when the Second World War was happening, but even when the First World War was happening, all the Arab states got together against the Ottoman Empire just because of the reason that they thought, because at the end of the Ottoman reign, there was a lot of there was no development in the Ottoman whole regions, and the Europe and the those countries were getting ahead in technology and all that science and everything. So people were disgruntled against the Ottomans and the Arab, because the Ottomans were Turkish white people, and they were different from all the rest of the Arabs that they were reigning on. And all the Arabs got together in this thing that they want another caliphate, another empire that was Arab in nature, that was not ruled by a foreigner country like the Turks, the white Turks. They didn't want that. They wanted one big Arab empire. That was the dream they had. But unfortunately, when the Ottomans lost in the First World War, the League of Nations divided all the Ottoman areas into this small, countries and states, and some of them got independence earlier. Many of them got independence after the 50s, 1950s. Even Algeria, Algeria, I think, got its independence in the 1960s. So their dream was actually to become one big Arab empire. But because once you divide a country into two parts or three parts or four, and then another political structure emerges in that region or that state will never join with the other states again, because every leadership, every political framework wants that power for itself. It's not ready to re-merge again and share that power with another entity. That is nature of human, society. So once you have divided them, there is no coming back unless you unite them again with a big force. You understand?
But who's gonna control the force? Because all
But
of these people are different tribes. The Emirati people are a different tribe. The Saudi people are a different tribe. The Egyptian leaders are like a different tribe. The Syrians are a different race. I mean, all of these are, you call them Arabs, but they're different tribes with different races. And
but they
obviously,
were the same
no.
tribes and same sects and same ethnicities who were living under one single Ottoman rule. And before that, other caliphates, whatever the caliphate was, there were 7 or 8 caliphates different, and they were all these regions were living together under one flag all this time. And the key to that unity was that there was a one joint economic system. There was a one currency that was silver coins or the gold coins, and there was one joint foreign policy, and the rest of the things all the states were doing, and the people were free to move here and there, and people were doing as they will. That's the same,
But
pattern.
then you divide all of these this one big Muslim caliphate into small nations, and what you get is like the consolidation of power in the hands of few, and
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
also the destruction of the military, because if there's like 50 nations instead of one nation, and now who's going to control the military? If everyone is deciding upon their own defense, so they're going to only have enough military to defend their own country, but they're not
Yes,
going to have
exactly.
a military that's going to defend Egypt going to defend Jordan, or Jordan going to defend Syria, and
Exactly, that's what happened. Because just like you saying, Qatar was always afraid of the Saudis, and these all little Gulf states, they were afraid that the Saudis may come and take them back, and that's why Qatar has always been against taking steps against Saudis many times, and befriending Iran, like befriending Turkey, because Turkey, Qatar, and Iran have been closer. And Qatar always did that because it felt that if I don't make friends with these people, or maybe make friends with the US, there is a fear that Saudis are going to take this land back, because before the World War One, this whole peninsula was one single state except for the Yemeni people. These all the rest was one single state. So you're right. By dividing them, and then afterwards dividing their interest also, because once you are so many states, you can still be on one page against Israel at least, because everybody knows that as long as Israel is there, and as long as it's doing this genocide and persecution of the Palestinians, there's going to be no peace in the whole of the Middle East. And when going to be no peace, there's going to be no progress for any one of the countries. Now, you can't say that Palestine is having a continuous genocide, and you sitting right next door in Saudi Arabia are just free-minded to make all your progress and do all the good things for your own people. That is not possible. That is why there has been this talk about a united Islamic